pikes made out of?
The Seal Knot used this foam on theirs, but most of us, all we did was, because getting a frog mouth spear tip, which is actually what a pike head is hard to find. We just take the round pipe, a round pipe, the length of pipe, and say, okay, this is our pike head. So that's what I was talking. I don't remember who I was talking. Oh, maybe it was Joseph about doing that, because we were talking about getting used to using some pole weapons. And I said, okay, just get some of the pipes, put them on some poles.
Yep.
We have them. It's the transporting of those.
That we won't have as much power.
Were people good about dying from a pike? Or?
Oh yeah. Well, remember, in England it was a point system based on what you wore. So if you were just an arm, say we were just wearing this, right? Depending on how long they wanted the initial part of the show go, 1 or 2 hits anywhere, and then you go down. Right? Sometimes if they wanted to show one, you would go down because you got hit, and then when the line went backwards, they'd pick you up, bring you back so you could crash again.
Right.
But after they would make it, say like 2 crashes. After that, everybody goes down. So 1 or 2 hits if you're unarmored. If you're wearing chainmail, that was 4. 3. 3 wearing full chain.
Right.
And then if you're wearing chain and plate, the arms were counted 1, legs were counted 1. And it was all honor system too. But again, the head was a target to be thrown at, but not to strike for safety, because we're all wearing historical pieces of equipment, so we have the open faces or no armor at all. So you had to really control your blows. So yeah, that's what I kind of miss, is the fact that for me, I wear full plate. They wear partial plate and partial chain in concept. So ideally I could land more blows because that's what my armor was designed to do. I'm less maneuverable than they are because they have more flex.
Yeah.
But the idea was I could take more than someone who is less armored.
Yeah, I see what you mean by the give and take.
But here it's, you get hit in the arm, you lose your arm, regardless of what you're wearing.
I think for me, my time period would be the 1100s to the 1300s, somewhere in between there.
Right about the time that Doug portrays the Normans. The Normans, if you really get into it, and I have some books at home on it, you could really pick an area and really specify, get into a different type of equipment that was being worn at that period. I mean, it's all the way down to the guard.
Nice.
That they were, just how far and where you want to, how narrow you want to make it. Whereas if you go to Italy or in the Middle East, you can pick up, you can add the Middle Eastern concepts to your armor or your garb.
Yeah, I think what I would want to do is be somebody who's skilled at
Carry those.
You know, self-defense, fighting, or whatever, travels from town to town and picks up different cultures because that's what that person does, and has been like a merchant, like one of the first recognized Swedish merchants, a Viking merchant, probably Danish.
Yeah, we did. Did they rule to open it up time period? Allow the Vikings?
I haven't heard if they finally decided.
They were talking about opening it because our time period ends, so it's 1066, right?
1066 is when William the Conqueror.
That's the very end of what they consider the Viking Age and beginning of the Normans.
Right.
So they're kind of stuck that people who want to play Viking can't. They can't play unless they play right at that time frame-ish idea. Or some gift.
Yeah, transition.
They were pushing it back to allow, I think 800 or something like that, to allow more Viking-ish to come in, and then extending out the Ottoman to 16 something, 16, 15 or something like that, to allow when things were really starting to change, to allow those people in.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
It's a little hard to get the right armor for a Norseman to comply to our rules.
Exactly, that's the rub of it. We all kind of almost have to dress it alike because of the regulations.
What I would be thinking of is something along the lines of somebody who's adaptable, who's in the transition, somebody who is a Viking by birth. And so he has those traditions and spiritualities, but he's grown up in England or France or Normandy or whatever you want to call it.
Well, in that period, you would, if you were in England, you would pick up the Saxons and angels costuming. So that's where you really get to change up what you wear. You would probably wear, if you wanted to really do chainmail, you could wear your chain, but you'd have to add the safety gear to the steel plates and whatnot in certain spots.
There was a small group in the SCA that were kind of playing a situation where they realized that there were a bunch of people here from different times and places, and they kind of went, well, there must be some way everybody's getting here today, so we're gonna go off and quest how they do that. That was kind of interesting.
Was it?
That was a little frosty, but I know
was
you
fun.
didn't really mean that.
And so what happened?
I just kind of went on.
Just kind of ongoing part of what they played was that they were constantly asking questions about how did you get here?
So really,
From and
really method
Looking for a
acting.
witch
Yeah.
or a wizard or something to
Yeah.
blind.
do you remember arriving here today?
That's
How
funny.
did you?
I think if we could, I mean, no one really wants to, but the headshot is the one thing that really makes it so we have to wear the gear, the power.
Yeah.
If we didn't have that, we could really break down more into the armor.
Right.
And the safety. The safety's the biggest one. In England, everybody does the safety because if you don't do safety, you get banned for life.
What's safety?
Pulling the blows, watching, striking the head,
Oh.
things like that. Only in the shows, whether it's or however they want to script it, they allow that if you know each other.
Yeah.
You can do that sort of stuff. But the heads are strictly off limits because, you know, if you're wearing a Spangler helm, there's nothing here. You know, so if you whack somebody in the head, what's going to happen? You get a dull sword. And we've all, at one time or another, got banged up accidentally
Yeah.
or something. But they have a rule called havoc.
Havoc?
Havoc. So, one, if you get caught, you get banned for life. But if you're actually on the field hurting somebody and it's on purpose, they can tell that you're not pulling your blows and you're not trying to. You know, accidents happen. You get havoc, and you can get havoc called. Anybody can call havoc, and they yell it out. It could be a havoc against a person or a group. And essentially what that meant was it's full blows.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody doesn't pull no blows. Everybody goes after them, and that person ends up going to the hospital.
Wow.
And then they're banned for life. Every society will know that they cannot fight.
Mm-hmm.
What? It seems like that would. I mean, I understand
That's
the
how you
purpose.
curb.
I understand the purpose of that, but it seems like that would open it up for just the same kind of witch hunt type thing, where if somebody doesn't like you, they could just claim that you're doing havoc.
If you called havoc, let's say you called havoc and it was false, there's no way to get around it. Everybody will know. The societies will all talk to each other. Even if they don't like each other, they know people from that society that will come out. But it's never called because of the serious factor of it, of what goes on. But nobody calls it in.
What societies, like, is there a international group that I'm just
There's
curious.
some big groups, like I said, Silnot's a big group. The Plantagenets.
I've heard of that as an actual group.
And then those are big organized groups, kind of like Adrian is.
Uh-huh.
Right? There might be a bunch of small groups within them, but they all belong to the same big group.
Yeah.
And then you have ones like we were called free companies, which means that we're just groups of people that got together and we say we portray this, we're this. We don't belong to any bigger organization or anything like that.
Right.
And there's tons and tons of free companies, and they all get informed and they all meet up at certain things.
Like militia almost.
Kind of, they're all separate little groups,
Mhm.
but they all get together, and a lot of times we play with each other. There are some groups that really liked each other and played often together, and others that didn't really like each other and they never really interacted.
Yeah.
You know, like any society.
Sure.
And then you had the more professional ones that were, as you would say, Nazis. everything had to be right. They controlled certain areas, and those. A lot of times, those guys, if they were too restrictive and wouldn't allow certain groups in, after a while, nobody would just go to their events.
Mm.
And they controlled some of those type of Nazi groups. Controlled some of the big battlefields.
Wow.
And so a lot of times, the only ones who ever showed up to do the shows was the group that put it on, because no one else would come.
Nobody has come to my play.
It happened at the Battle of Malden, a Viking battle.
Really?
Viking versus Saxons. I went there. My group didn't show up. We were invited by another Viking group, and something happened to them, and they didn't show up either. But I was there by myself, so there was nobody for me to reenact with. Nobody I knew. So they basically gave me and said, "Well, okay, why don't you can either join up with these Swedes over here, or this English group here."
Very good.
I was like, well, I can't speak any of their language, so I guess I'll be with these guys. But the group that was putting on